Hi there, my name is Norm, and this is Little Norm. Say hi to Little Norm. Oh, yeah, that's right. Little Norm doesn't speak. He's just a PNG, not like an SVG like me. Well, let's not waste any more time. John's going to show you how to turn your PNGs into SVGs like me.
Okay, so first I want to say thank you to everyone who asked to have a tutorial created for this. I came up with this trick recently and I found that it works really well. Um, Basically, the new vector feature that Affinity has can be used to turn this character, who I call him Norm. He's one of the characters I use in my videos. And I don't have a vector version of him yet. I've been doing a lot of 3D animation with him, so I've decided to turn him into a vector character. So I'm not going to show you from A to Z everything that I'm going to do to make him a vector, but I am going to show you a couple of iterations so you can see how it's done. The first thing you need to do is you need to remove the background. So in Affinity, it's as simple as coming up here. I'm in the Canva AI right now. All I have to do is come over here, click on this, and it's going to remove the background, and it does a really good job at it. As you can see here, it took all of the background away. Next, I'm going to come over to the pixel area, and there's a couple of things I want to do to prepare the character before I start vectorizing him. For instance, I want to remove this line that's here. I don't want these lines in his arms. I want his arms, so the attachment to the arm will look more natural and more real. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the color first, and I'm going to grab this here, and I'm going to just come in and I'm just going to paint that out. Let's make our brush a little bit bigger, and if you can hit the shortcut X key to toggle the colors, because as you can see it was black, now I made it the right color, and I'm just going to just paint that out. So when I vectorize it, the line won't be there. I've been using Affinity for about 5 years now, and I really like this change that they've made, putting everything in one place. It definitely helps with this workflow. So I got rid of the line there, and I think that's all I need to do for the time being. So here's how we're going to start. The secret is not to try to vectorize the whole thing at one time. You want to vectorize parts of it, and you do that pretty easily by, first of all, I'm going to take this here and I'm going to merge it down. I don't want it to be a separate part. Okay, so now it's all one image. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to start vectorizing his arms and his torso. So first thing I do is I come over here and I grab the selection tool brush, and I'm going to smaller here, and you see grabbed a little bit too much. I don't need that much, so I'm going to take a little bit of it away so I can hold the Alt key down, and I'm going to basically leave it like this. Now you want to make sure that you get all of the black outline. If yours has a black outline, the blank areas, not a problem because it's not going to vectorize anything that's invisible. Next thing you want to do is you want to duplicate this one section only. So you just do Control J, and you're going to see that his arm's been duplicated. So I'm going to turn off his body now, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to unselect everything. I'm going to take the eraser, which is right here. I'm going to erase away anything that I don't want. For instance, this here like this. That's basically the only part that I don't really need. I'm going to take the brush again, because now I want to make the ball where the joint's going to pivot. So I'm going to do this like so. And now I'm going to take I'm going to switch it to black by hitting the X key. You can see my black is there. I'm going to bring this down to the size I need. Usually it's around 5 pixels or so. In this case here, it looks like it's going to be about 7 pixels. And you just want to go contour this here. And I do it just by holding the shift key. And I go down. I'll show you a different way to do it when I do the other arm. So now we have our arm done. This is where the magic happens. Now you want to take this and you want to vectorize this. Now if I wanted to, I could separate his hands, but that's going to make the video longer, so I'm not going to do that for the time being. But all I'm going to do is now you come up here to vector and you say image trace. Okay, and you make adjustments as needed. If you want to, bring up the edge threshold, if you want to bring up the curve filtering, you can do that. And just pick whatever looks good. I'm going to put it back down to originally where it was because it looked pretty good right where it was. And you just hit apply. Okay, now you can see that it changed the arm. It vectorized it basically. So now it's here. It's all in pieces. But it's now a vector. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come to the vector workflow, and I'm going to click on this and show you that, as you can see, it's now a full vector. The black here. And I'm just going to grab it just to show you. You can see how it's vectorized the whole thing. Let's just do Control Z. So now your arm is ready to go. You see, and that didn't take any time at all. And I'm talking here, and if I was to do this, normally it would have taken me like a couple of minutes, and I would have been done. Like, the whole secret here is that you don't want to try to do the whole character at one time. The image trace works really well when it's small things that you can control. The other thing about this now is if I want to, I can just duplicate this arm and flip them around. I don't actually have to do the other arm because both arms look pretty much the same. Now when I go to do this, I'm going to actually put the arm, like I'm going to use this in animation, so I'm going to put the arm behind the torso so you don't see this section here, right? And I can just show you what that's going to look like just by doing it right here. See? Now it looks normal. And when you rotate his arm, he's always going to have a black line, whether he raises or lowers his arm's always going to have that black outline. I said, I can just do this, and I can just do Control J to duplicate it. I can make sure I'm on the selection tool, right click, and I'm going to say transform and flip horizontally. Now I'm going to just hold the shift key down, and I'm going to go over to the right. And bang. Now I've got both arms done already. You can see how quickly that was to do. So I'm going to turn off the arms for the time being. Let's turn the rest of his body back on. And we're basically going to do the same thing now for the rest of him. We're going to go back to the pixel tool. We're going to grab the brush again. We're going to select, we don't need his arm. Grab his torso here. So, and now I'm just going to hit Alt and just erase some of this stuff that we don't need. I can do the same thing once I've duplicated it. So now I'm going to take that and I'm going to do a Control J. I'm just going to grab a little bit more. It's easier to erase stuff than it is to add stuff. That's normal. And you just want to make sure, we're going to zoom in here. We're going to make sure that we have all of the black outline because it's more work, like I said, to add it than it is to just to do a little bit of erasing. So I just want to make sure I have enough so that we cover the ball joints from the arms. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to do the same thing we did before. I'm just going to go in now and I'm going to make sure that I have the main body selected and do Control J. And you're going to see now that duplicated the body part, the torso. So let's turn off the body. Unselect everything. Now I'm going to go through, again, like I did before. I'm going to erase whatever I don't need. So there's a little bit here that I don't need. And again, if you click and then you hit the Shift key, it'll create a straight line. It'll erase everything between point A and point B. And these are all little shortcuts that will save you time. Let's get rid of this here. Oops, a little bit too much. Now, here in this section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it all the color of the coat, because the coat would become behind his body. And then I'm going to also create a neck for him out of this here. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to actually use the other method I was telling you about, the pen tool. You can use the pen tool here. And basically what I'm going to do is just create a coat for him, the back of his coat, like so. And I'm going to create a 7 pixel thick black line. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. We're going to pick the node tool to draw this in, like so. And like I said, normally this would be a few minutes and I would be done with this. Doesn't take long at all to do. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm just going to turn this like this and this like this. And that's done. So now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to do Control J. Control J. I'm going to just merge it down. So I'm just going to right click on it and I'm going to do merge down. So now it's back to being one item there. Now I'm going to work on his neck. Now in the characters, the way that the rigging works, the neck, I need to make it come up this way so that it'll catch some of the nodes for the rigging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab the pen tool and I'm going to draw a neck in. And the neck is going to be something like this. Over here. And I'm going to remove the black line because I don't need that for the time being. I'm going to remove the stroke. And we're going to make it the color of the neck here. So we're going to grab that color. Just grab the eyedropper and grab that. There we go. Click off. Okay, and now in here I need the node tool. I'm going to make this up here round. So I'm going to double click on it. That makes it round. And I'm just going to do this. Like this. And I'm going to show you another little trick that I do. So now that I've got this created, I don't need it to have black line down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to take the one that's underneath, and I'm going to make that black, like so. And now, when I grab the node tool and I pull it out, you're going to see that now he has that same black line on his neck as well. And by doing this, you can also, this is just another method of creating a fake stroke. And that's what I really need here. I need a fake stroke. So that when we vectorize it, it's going to vectorize that as a stroke as well. And I'm going to make this here just a little bit smaller. I said it's not going to show when I do my rigging and my animation, but it's, just want to make things look right. And I'm not going to worry too much about this right now. I will fix that after when I do once it's vectorized. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to finish this little piece here that's missing. So I need my black brush again. I'm just going to do this here like this. Over there looks okay. And this can all be fixed, like I said, once it's vectorized, you're free to do whatever you want, because it's going to create nodes here that you can push and pull and do whatever you want to do with them. So I've got this pretty much where I want it. Maybe I'm just going to add a little bit of color right here to this side that's missing. And let's see, the tool here, do that. Go back to the brush. And I'm just going to hit X to switch the color. So you can see it switched over here. Hit the wrong key there. The Shift key to hold it down. Okay, so that's close enough. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to merge it down. Let's merge this one down. Let's merge all the visible. That's the easiest way to do it. We can delete all these now since we have a complete one. So now we have a completed one here. Same thing, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say vector. I'm going to say image trace. And you can see that looks pretty good. It did a good job. I'm just going to say apply. And there we go. Now I have another area that's all vectorized. And one other thing that you can do as well, you can always group these things. You have the grouping function. If you grab two items, let's come over here to the vectors. You see that's the pocket. And if I hit shift, I grab the other pocket. If I want to know, I can come up here and just group the two of them together. You know, there's really no need to do that, but it is possible to do. So in my workflow for Cartoon Animator, I need the arms, I need the body, I need the hip area. So I'm going to do the hip area as well. Maybe I'll just do that one just to show you also, because that one's a little bit different. So I'm going to come back to the pixel. I'm going to grab my selection brush. And the selection brush, I'm not sure if you know this, but the size of the selection brush determines what the tolerance is as well. So the smaller you make it, the smaller the tolerance. It'll grab less at one time. Like that. So I'm going to just do this for the time being. I don't need all of this. Maybe I'll even just grab this here. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to make sure that I have the full character selected, or else if I hit Control J, it won't do anything. So I'm going to copy from this layer. And you can see here, copy that one piece that I made. I'm going to hide this now. You see I have this here. It's going to be his hips. So I'm going to unselect by hitting Control D. And now I'm going to go through, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. So I need my eraser. So I'm going to clean it up a tiny bit. And I don't need any of this over here, because what I'm going to do is when I rig my character, I'm going to rig it so that the legs come all the way up this way, so that you won't see any of the any pieces sticking out as he's walking. And I'm going to just come over here like this and hit shift and come over here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to fix up these corners here. I don't want that to be there. So what I'm going to do is I'm in here, this color here. I'm definitely going to use the pen tool, because I'm not going to be able to get in there with the brush. It's just too tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw it in manually like this. And I'm just going to stretch that out a tiny bit so that it covers up this little bit of black that's here. And then I'll come over to this side. I'm going to do the same thing. See? And that's it. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to come back. I'm in Pixel. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say merge down if it's available. No, it's not available, so I'm just going to do merge visible. And I still have these little pieces here. I'm just going to convert these to convert to curve. Just grab the whole thing here. So that grabs all of those right there. And I'm going to just say, let's see, merge selected. There we go. So now that's all one piece. Now the same thing as before. Just going to make sure that I have this selected. I'm going to come up to vector. I'm going to say image trace. That looks good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to just apply it just the way it is. And if I come over here to vector and I click on my node tool, you can see that it's all nodes. These here are two separate pieces because they don't touch anywhere. If they are at, you could actually still merge the two together if you really wanted to, just by take this and bring maybe a node up and touching that and then combining the two, but there's really no need. So we have another section done, and basically that's all you need to do. Once you have all those separate pieces, and I'm only going to turn on the pieces that we created just to show you what we have created. And you can see how I've already got the makings of a character almost ready here. For sure, the head's going to be the hardest thing to do. But the head, all you're going to do is do the same thing. You're going to select this whole area here and the ears, depending on what you're going to use this for. If you're going to use it as an animated character, you're going to want to make your own eyes, things like that. So when I do the head, I would take this whole area in here as one piece. I would erase the eyebrows and everything. I would do the eyebrows and everything separate because in Cartoon Animator, you can animate the eyebrows, the mouth, the nose, all that stuff. So I would make them all as separate pieces. So I would make my own eyes, my own mouths. I already have mouths made that I'm going to add to this character. The only thing I might do is remove the beard because the beards don't work well in animation. Because the mouth's going to be opening and closing and the beard won't change unless I remove this one little piece here and I put the mouth right smack dab in the center there. But other than that, it would be exactly the same. Same thing for the hair. You could do, you select all of the hair, put it by itself, vectorize it, and boom, the hair's all by itself. Like I said, it depends on what animation software you're using, but in Cartoon Animator, the hair is one piece, the ears are separate pieces, the face is a separate piece, the eyes are separate pieces, the nose, the mouth, they're all separate pieces. Even the hands are separate pieces. I put them all together here because what I'm going to be using him for, his hands really are not needed. He's going to be telling jokes, maybe waving his arms a bit, but that's about it. So he's not going to be picking anything up or making any hand gestures for the time being. I might make new hands and stuff later on that I can attach, but for the time being, that's it. And that's how easy it is to create your own vectorized characters. I created this character in Artistly. I have an Artistly account, and I can create as many images as I want. There's no limits. I created him first as a 3D object, and then I used the same program to create a vector version of him, which is what I have here. The vector version basically means he's got the dark lines and he's flat. He doesn't have shading and stuff like that. And that's basically what you want when you do animation. You don't want to have a lot of shading and things because a lot of software won't accept it when you try to import it. So solid one color, like you see here in the ears, that's one color. This is one color. And the same thing for his body. You don't see any shading. I could draw shading in if I really wanted to, but it just complicates the whole thing.
If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out.